Alexandra Loves. Take 3. It's gonna work this time, I swear. All right, I'm here today to talk to you about this nasty, nasty thing called ghosting. It's something out there in relationships and dating. It fucking sucks. I can't stand it. For me, it's a hell no. I hope for you it's a hell no, and hopefully at this video you will have a better understanding of what it is and what's really going on there. Maybe not take it so personally when people do it. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what ghosting is, it's when you're talking to somebody, and this doesn't always happen in like romantic relationships and courtships. This happens with friends too. I think it's especially nasty when it happens with somebody who you're meeting who's new, because you want to make your best impression. So if you're experiencing ghosting in the beginning of an experience with somebody, maybe you've just met them, maybe you've just gone out on a couple dates with them, the chances are is that you're dodging a bullet. Honestly, if you're if they're ghosting right in the beginning, like, you're good, okay? All right, so here we go. Ghosting, all right? Again, my name is Alexandra Love, CLAC. I'm a certified love attraction coach and a spiritual guide. Okay, so I want to start with a story about ghosting, because I remember this. Look, no matter where you are in your relationships, whatever you're trying to create, this can happen. For some of you, you're looking for your soulmate. For some of you, you just want nourishing relationships. For some of you, you want to heal from past relationships. It's not, the dating world can be fun. The relationship world can be fun, no matter what it is that you're trying to create. The work is the same for all of us, though. Whether you're trying to have nourishing partnerships, whether you might be polyamorous in several relationships, or you might be looking for that soulmate. The internal work is all the same. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about a situation that happened to me, so you can understand ghosting and why it's alarming. Okay, and why it's and how it can affect you negatively, and how I turned it around so I could understand better what was going on. Okay, so basically I was talking with somebody. It was a great conversation. We've been sort of courting over the phone a little bit, dating, courting, whatever you want to call it. And this person was using terms of endearment like "my Alexandra," and they were wanting to make plans and do things together, and they're really excited. Look, everybody gets like that in the beginning of relationships. Everybody's excited. Everybody wants to go on vacations together, or go see games together, or it's fun to start planning with somebody. It's fun to have the anticipation of kissing and affection and all of that. It's fun to wake something up, and we're here for relationships. It's fun to find out that there's someone new in your life that you vibe with. I mean, who doesn't love that? And so this person started to get into that place of like, yeah, we're going to see each other, we're going to hang out, we're going to, do this, that, and the other. And I've learned in my life now that instead of jumping on board with that really quickly, I tend to just like watch a person go through that, because often what I'm seeing is the person gets so involved with their emotions and so excited about the possibilities that they forget to stay in the present moment with me. Okay, and so I've watched time and again, I date men, I've watched time and again men get really, really excited about it and then get really insecure because they feel that they've poured their heart out to me, or they feel like they've given too much, or they're scared that they've shown too much. They're scared of the vulnerability, and then they poof, disappear. Okay, they ghost. And my timer just went off. I remember this one time, so this guy was talking about like "my Alexandra" and all these terms of endearment, and all the, I want to visit you, I'm excited to see you, I want to visit you a couple times in a row, and I'm so excited about, all this stuff. And then there was a sort of like in our communication, there was sort of this thing that was sort of unresolved, this miscommunication, and all that needed to happen in this miscommunication was like, hey, this doesn't work for me, can we do it differently? And so I'd said to him through texting, hey, our communication, the balance is a little off, can we talk about it on the phone? He said, yeah. He said, I'll call you in 20 minutes. He never called me. So immediate for me, like I am very I've dealt with enough bullshit, and I'm a love coach, so I've heard so much bullshit that when somebody just kind of like isn't accountable and when their actions don't meet their words, I usually give some time, and I usually give it some breath. to see if they are going to turn it around. It's not my job. I'm not their mother. I'm not their teacher. I'm not their coach. It's not my job to make them turn it around, right? That's really on them. The door is still open for them to change it if they want to change it, right? So I let it breathe, and then time went on, probably like a week or something. They came back, and they're all these terms of all this nice stuff, and I'm sitting there going, oh, well, there's this unresolved thing in my mind. I'm like, there's this unresolved thing, and also you haven't acknowledged that this thing happened. So I brought it up, and I was like, hey, last time you said you're gonna call me in 20 minutes, that was over a week ago, and I feel like, hey, Marnie, how's it going? There's this unresolved thing, like, can we talk on the phone? You know, not a big deal, not a, you know, a scolding or schooling or anything, just like, hey, I just wanted to let's be aware of this. Communication is everything, and I'm telling you, if you want to be in a good relationship, look for communication. Look for great communication, or the openness to learn how to communicate better, okay? That's so important, especially in the beginning, all right? People are telling you who they are right in the beginning all the time, all right? Believe them, that's who they are, right? So they said, yeah, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. They never called me the next day, all right? So what I'm experiencing is when I voice that something doesn't feel right, okay, that person isn't available to talk about it. And once more, they are telling me, their words are, yeah, let's talk about it, let's get on the phone. Their action is to disappear. And that's leading me on because they're telling me, yes, I'm gonna call you twice. They never contacted me again. Now, years and years and years ago, this is what ghosting is. So years and years ago, I would have been devastated. What's about me? Why does this keep happening? Oh my God. All right. But now I see it as this like really awesome gift. All right. The gift is that they're taking themselves out of the game because they can't handle accountability and their actions don't meet their words. Let me tell you, if any of you have ever been in a relationship for a long time where someone's actions don't meet their words, it's infuriating. And also, I'll be really honest with you, there are a lot of manipulators out there and narcissists out there that is the game. It's a conscious game where the actions don't meet the words, that they're not accountable, and then they blame you for it, and then they make you feel small because you don't get the game. All right, that's part of how they get off, right? So for me, after this happened, now when something like this happens, I'm just like, great, release it. Release it to its highest good. And these are the tips that I want to give you, all right? The first tip is this: realize that you're amazing and that you're awesome, and that of course somebody wants to connect with you, and of course they're expressing. You get ghosted and somebody disappears after expressing all these amazing things, and they're calling you dear and sweet and honey, and they're you know, planning vacation, planning life with you, and then they disappear. I don't know. I would not say that all of that stuff, all the stuff they were experiencing was a lie. You know, oftentimes when we get ghosted, we think, oh, they were lying to me, and it's like another layer of hurt. It's not necessarily a lie all the time. That's one of my first tips, is don't automatically assume that it was a lie. Just know that sometimes people are expressing because they really do feel those things. You, amazing person that you are inspiring those things, okay? And maybe they just can't handle it. So that's the first thing to realize, is that maybe they just can't handle how amazing you are. All right. The second thing is, and this is in all my work, whether you're doing love coaching with me, a session with me, whether you're doing, you know, spiritual work with me, is release, release, release. If you get nothing out of my videos, if you hate my videos, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, release, 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 release. Okay, I release this to the highest good. Okay, and I do this in my awesome relationships, and I do this when things are challenging. If I experience something, for example, with this person in this conversation, this courtship that I was having, we'd have these amazing conversations. Our values matched. You know, the attraction was really high. It was hot. And every time I got off the phone with this person, or that I saw this person, I would sit down, enjoy it, express gratitude for it, and then say, hey, I release this to its highest good. Thank you for this experience. I'm so glad I had this experience. This person is awesome. You know, give it to God, give it to your spirits, give it to your universe, whatever is the best for me. Release it so that you're not so attached to that connection and expect it to happen and start feeding off that connection, because I'll tell you what, you're amazing by yourself, and there are so many people out there that are going to be accountable, whose words and actions are going to match, and you deserve to have that. So even in the positive situations, release it to its highest good, okay? And I think it's obvious also the negative situations, release those to their highest good, you know, and ask. This is a great question to ask. If you get ghosted, right, things are going well and you experience something negative and you get ghosted, or, you know, some abuse happens or something, deal with that obviously, but then release that and ask the question, what am I supposed to learn from this? What is here for me to experience that will help me in the next relationship? What is it that I need to let go of? Okay, and I see a question here, and it says, or no, a comment. Yep, it's crazy, but some people can't handle feeling loved and being loved. That's true. And I'll tell you what, if you're doing your inner work, look, if you're watching one of my videos, the chances are you're probably doing your own inner work, and you're healing something, and you're finding your own empowerment, and maybe you're even opening yourself up to love again. And I'll tell you what, that's juicy. Someone who's actively healing themselves, it might look ugly sometimes, it might feel hard on the inside sometimes, but you are showing your light more, and that's juicy and that's attractive. And so if you're experiencing, this is the other thing another tip I would tell you, if you're experiencing ghosting over and over and over and over again, the thing is that it's probably time to graduate yourself up to better partners. There's probably just a little adjustment that you need to graduate up to higher caliber partners, okay? The last tip I want to give you is there's this thing that we say called red flags. You know, this person did something that's a red flag. And I want to, how do I want to put this? I want to give you a permission level to be strict for just a little while, not forever, not inflexible, but be strict just a little while in what's okay with you and what's not. All right? So, for me, for example, the minute that someone's actions do not meet their words, they're done. I'm done. Okay? Now, I did that strictly for a really long time. No holds barred, no second chances, whatever. It was because there was something in me that needed to heal from this constant thing that was going on. It used to go on in my life where guys would fall in love in a second and then be gone in a day, right? I couldn't take it anymore. So as soon as I felt that actions don't meet words, done, all right? Then I gained strength. Then I gained more filters for my energy. I'm very sensitive. You know, I'm definitely an empath. If you're watching my videos, if you're into what I'm doing, you're probably super sensitive or an empath. Okay, so you know what it's like to carry that pain of when somebody just disappears when you've made the attachments, right? Now that I have better filters and better boundaries, yes, when somebody's actions don't meet their words, I say I'm done, but the door's still open. They could come back. They could come back and if it's acknowledged and addressed, absolutely we could keep going. But it wasn't that way before, and I had to go through that. I had to go through that strictness so that I could have clarity, so that I could heal, so that I could have clarity about what was going on, about what was important for me. And so I'm going to encourage you to get strict just for a little while. It's almost like when you learn jazz, right? It's almost like when you learn an instrument or a skill, you learn the fundamentals and you practice them over and over and over again. It is this way, right? You learn scales. It is this way. And then once you get it, then you can jazz around it, but you always come back to the scale. So when actions don't meet words, I encourage you to practice that's a no. That we don't move forward. You don't get more from me when your actions don't meet words for a little while, and see what you learn from that. Another thing that I would practice pretty strictly is that if you don't feel good about something, if something rubs you the wrong way, speak it. Speak it right then and right there, okay? And if that person is available, whether they're ghosting or whether, you know, they can't be on the phone for a while or whatever, do not move on to something else. Do not spend more time with this person. Do not make plans. Do not move on with this person. Expand with this person, expand into more affection or more a close interaction until you can express it to that person strictly. Now, when I say express it to that person, I don't mean put it on them. I don't mean blame them. I don't mean school them or hurt them because you're hurt. I just mean if you feel that something's not working and if it's bad, do not do a single thing that moves your relationship on, that bonds you more until that is addressed. So practice that strictly for a while and see what happens. A lot of this is about healing ourselves, but a lot of it also is to get feedback. And you will find that when you start practicing these things, the releasing and the things I said in this video. Now I've forgotten all the things because I'm moving on. Go back and watch the video. When you practice all these things, I don't have my notes in front of me, you guys. This is what happens when I don't have my notes. I forget what I just said. Okay, but you'll find when you practice these things, you'll get not only healing, but you also get this reflection back to you about the way you've been acting, about what you've allowed, the things that you've given permission to affect you. You'll start to get the feedback and understand how to release them so that they don't hurt you anymore. So that when they do happen, because you know what, even when you date, when you start graduating, you date higher caliber partners and your love life starts getting really good, those people show up every once in a while, okay? So you want to get to a place, you'll get this reflection so that when it does happen again, and it might hoodwink you because it hasn't happened for a really long time, or you thought you were done with it. You know, we often think that when we're healing that we're just done with it. That it won't affect you so badly. You'll be able to just brush it off. Instead of calling your friends or calling your coach and crying, you'll just be like, oh my God, guess what this guy did? And you'll laugh about it and you'll move on because it won't mean anything. Okay? So that's my my wisdom I'm sharing with you today. Thank you for joining me here on Tuesday. Mwah. I love you all. My name is Alexandra Love, CLAC. The blog is coming soon. I love you all. Mwah.